Hello, hello. I'm glad to see you here. So, I would like to start with the phrase that I'm pretty sure a lot of you have said in several parts of your career. Maybe not in loud, but for sure by yourselves and for yourselves, it's I will do it faster myself. And from my experience, it's not about people who don't have trust or try to micromanage something. It's about real experts that are truly reliable and responsible for lots of tasks and decisions. And it's natural, and this is how our careers on early stages usually grows. You take some responsibilities, you make some decisions, you resolve some issues, and that's why you have promotions, and in a lot of environments it's even encouraged. But at some point something goes wrong. You have more tasks that you could manage, you have to deal with so much decisions, you have to switch so much context on your head, so you have less time and less energy. And this phrase, I will do it myself, sounds not like a superpower, but like a super pressure. And it's natural, because when you grow at the early stages, your growth usually linear. So making more tasks means being visible. That's why we have some promotions. But when you step in the leadership position, usually you should switch your mindset. You should try to release and develop more results in a better way through the other people and systems and the team which you work with. And if we speak about why delegation is needed, first of all, it's about being bottleneck. From the team perspective, usually if we have only one person who is responsible for the whole decision set, it means that this team could go like slowly because they are waiting for your results. You could be like really good manager, you could resolve lots of issues per day. How many? 5, 10, 20, maybe 100 if you are a CEO, but it's usually about limitation. And second point that's really important, when only one person is responsible for every decision in the team usually adapts. So they just being good executors, but it's not about the growth of the team. If we speak about your personal perspective, we don't speak about that often, but it's about return of your investment, like about your time. We have salary, and usually our companies paying us for the whole skill set that we are having right now. And if you resolve some tasks that don't require the full skill set that you have, it means that you maybe waste your time. And about personal growth, you could be a good executor, but if you doing all tasks by yourself, it means that you could be good for the current position right now. But if we speak about some promotions and next steps, you should turn your mindset to leading teams, to coaching teams, and provide results through other people. As a head of product, I'd like to speak precisely about product teams. And product work is complex by nature. We have lots of decisions at the same point of time. Usually we have answers, we should answer questions that usually don't have only one right answer. And usually we manage lots of not full information. That's why it's really crazy and unhealthy that only product manager is one source of truth of any decision and one thinking point. So if product manager could delegate some work, for example, some researches to designers, some decisions and corner cases to engineers, it helps the team become working in parallel, so to speed up the work. And if we speak about teamwork and team growth, to be a good executor and just resolving tasks is not really help to grow. Team should grow the judgment about product, about solution. The team should suggest some issues, some ideas, and they should be responsible and have space to make mistakes and to deal with consequences in a safe environment. And if we speak about product managers specifically, they are not only responsible to polishing requirements and running meetings, they should also working with partners, align prioritization, and in general understand which problems they should solve for the users or partners. So if product manager just working with the team, it's not a good point how the product manager could grow. Usually when I speak about delegation, people say that they really want. They want to delegate, to be free from some extra work, but they're usually afraid of. They're afraid that quality could be dropped. They're afraid that tasks require longer time than they manage by themselves. And like it's natural, but usually they're also afraid of being responsible for tasks that could be failed by other people. I fully understand that, but we should acknowledge that for some point of our career, we should do that step, spend more time and energy to provide answers and context for other people and go in this way. And I would like to share a little bit about my experience and how I came to that. A couple of years ago, when I was promoted to head of R&D on that company, I was so happy because I had an opportunity to hire people, and I hired 2 great product managers. And during onboarding part, I supported them a lot. I suggested some solutions. I provided all trade-offs. I spent so many time for that. So when probation period ended and onboarding ended, I understood that I continued to do that. I continued to spend that time. I continued to support them. And at some point, I understand that, oh my God, I'm a micromanager. I asking them all about their work every day. How are you dealing with that? Do you need some help? It was supportive one, but micromanagement style. And what helped me in that moment that I tried to ask me not what I can do for that, for solving some issue, but who could do that and what this person is needed to do that well. It's about changing mindset. It's really unpleasant emotion-wise, because when you start to delegate something, your results became less visible, and you don't have the full feedback because you're not visible in the system, and for sure it's the motivational part for us. And sometimes you should see not really good results, and especially from managers that are grown from the experts. They actually really know how good looks like, and we see that people can do in that way, but it's okay, because if you accept that, it could become a natural extension of your role and your position, and you will be involved, but not in details, but on the way how it should be resolved. And if we speak about practical part, usually tricky point is what to delegate. And we have a ton of work, and all seems important, and how to choose it. And I have one practice that I could suggest to you. It's time lock. Nothing fancy, because I just recommend you to fix all your work during work day. To split your work day with some periods, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. 60 minutes is too much. And try to fix, to record all your work during these periods 2 or 3 times per day. It could be meetings, answering questions, finding information, preparing some documentation, whatever. And don't try to judge that, just fix that. And it's needed to be done at least 2 weeks to have enough data for analysis. After doing that, you could combine these records in some categories, and maybe even on that step you could see some insights, because for example you think that some tasks take only 5 minutes per day, but if we speak about weeks, it could be hours, big part of our work time. And when we have this list of categories, of batches of our task, I suggest to think in 2 different areas about what should be delegated. First of all, we should understand how often it comes to us and what is value of your involvement. If we see that some tasks come really often, but your value is not really important and someone could cover that, it's a really good candidate to delegate or automate. And from my point of view, delegation and automation in such perspective sounds pretty similar, because when we automate something, It means that we delegate this to the system or to the AI, for example, so we make our work easier. And if some tasks requires a full skill set, it means that you should keep them. But if these tasks come pretty often, maybe it's a good point to decompose it and delegate some part. For example, brief analysis of activities or finding some information. So it could be done in such way. And also I would like to suggest you another scheme. It's pretty simple, should could. Maybe it works better for you. So from my point of view, you should delegate some tasks that are really easy to delegate. Maybe they have instructions, maybe they were covered a couple of times and have pretty good history to understand how decision made. And if you need some time to delegate, for example, to help the person understand context, trade-offs, it could be delegated, but maybe not now. You should understand your possibilities and your capacity to do that now. And for sure, there are tasks that shouldn't be delegated. It's usually about core of your job. Usually it's about budgeting, hiring, and strategic questions that should be covered by yourself for sure. And pretty good category about automation, I would like to provide one example about meetings, because it's really was important for me. At some point of my career, I had 35 hours meetings per week, too much. And one funny criteria how to work with that. If you, during the meeting, do some tasks, and you do some tasks effectively, but your not full involvement in the meeting doesn't reflect on the quality of meeting, please skip that meeting. It's not obvious to do that, to meet that, and you could provide the place when people could ask you something, but you could save 1 hour for each meeting for you. Also, it's beneficial to understand how to delegate. And first of all, I would like to say that delegation is not one moment when you say, let it go, and that's all. It's a process, and first of all, it's about changing your mindset. And maybe a little bit philosophical part, you should delegate outcomes, but not tasks. What does it mean? It means that you provide not current decisions, but you provide context. You try to explain why you would like to achieve that, which KPIs you would like to achieve, but you provide freedom and space for the person to decide how to achieve that. Also, it's important to provide clarity behind the person, and if we speak about that, it's good to explain the assignment, to provide this context. If you have, maybe you know some trade-offs about these decisions, and as I said, it would be great to define the outcome, maybe some KPIs or OKRs if you have in your company. And also, it's important to set a deadline and rough estimation. It really helps the person to manage their workload, because we understand that usually the person already has some work to do, and to put one more task to this list, it's better to understand the deadlines. And to be involved, but it's important to be involved, but it's also important not to micromanage that. And from my point of view, it's good to have checkpoints. It's some meetings, for example, or things that you schedule in advance. And I suggest you to manage these checkpoints in a coaching mode, asking people what is the blocker and why did you decide that, and help the person to understand how it could be going, but not fixing instead of them. And also checkpoints, scheduled checkpoints, help person decrease stress, because these daily interventions, for example, please call, please describe me what are you doing right now, usually put the person under the stress. And it's not really good practice to take the work back, because it ruins your trust with the team, and we should acknowledge that mistakes are expected, because it's how learning part usually looks like. The person could make some mistakes, and that's why the person will understand how to do better. And also a couple of points how to make delegation sustainable. First of all, to acknowledge contribution, to say out loud kudos during some meetings, and it helps to grow motivation. And also, really important point, like especially for me, it was really important sometime. Sometimes I feel guilty to provide some task to my colleagues because I understand that they already have full list of work, but and I should put one more. What actually I'm doing in such situation, I suggest come to me, sit near to me, and go through the whole list of work that the person should do, and set some priorities. It helps to understand what is really matter. And one more point, especially for product teams, is to protect focus. We usually have a lot of requests from different teams, partners, stakeholders, and sometimes these requests are low priority. Sometimes they are important, and if teams spend much time like for deal with that, it could disturb the attention. So sometimes back them, like to pushing back low priority tasks, or sometimes help them to say no, really beneficial for the team. And as I mentioned, you should accept the discomfort about looking how it's going, maybe not in the best way. We should expect mistakes, and it's okay for some part of the time, and just for the long time, it would be beneficial when the team grows and could make this decision by themselves. Also, a really important point is how to choose the right person to delegate. And usually leaders or managers have one guy who is responsible for all, who could cover all questions, who is really want to cover all questions. And we put all tasks for that person. And what do we have? We have overload guy who is working with silent burnout and disbalance the team without with disbalanced trust. But to be honest, actually we have more options. Sometimes we should delegate tasks to the people who need to develop the skills. Maybe they provide not the best result, but well enough, and it's also good. Usually it's important to take into account the capacity of the person for sure, and readiness for challenges, because if the person is not ready for current moment, we couldn't achieve good results together. And also I usually try to see if it's if the person understands this like a reward, not like an extra task. It's also about motivation, and if we put extra task, I'm not sure that we will go with good results. During preparation for this meetup, I found a couple of questions that I think could help, especially last one, who could move it forward with a decision. Sometimes we have tasks that are blocked, are stopped, and I'm sure that you know that done is better than perfect. So maybe we should delegate this task for people who could push that, move it forward, and have pretty well results. And also sometimes we are responsible for decisions that we are not really hands-on. And it's good practice to delegate these decisions to the people who are really work with that. And what I would like to add is that if you don't see people for whom you could delegate, please think twice, because to be honest, as a leader, you should find that people, even grow, or maybe hire. So there are lots of options, but it's your responsibility to find someone. And to finish a little bit with this theory, I would like to suggest one practice. I understand that delegation is a big process, and you should spend lot of time and energy to deal with that and to become good leader with delegation processes. But there is one point that you could do even tomorrow. And during preparation, I did that, like last week. I created Google form and sent that for my colleagues and asked 2 questions. Do you see me doing things that I don't need to be doing? And have you seen? Do you see some areas and tasks that you could do instead of me? And surprise, surprise! Apparently, I have a couple of meetings that maybe I could skip, and based on that, I will have 6-7 hours of free time every month. And I hope that if you could ask some person about that, maybe like just one person, and try to listen to openly without this defending position, you will also have 6-7 hours per month for your interesting and important tasks. Thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to answer any questions now or maybe during the break.